This period of protest has had many reasons why it's happening now. And one of them is to divert attention from what's just happened. What does a magician want you to do when he's doing a trick? He wants you to look at the hand that's not doing the trick, so you don't see the hand that's doing it. What is protest? You know, so many protests, they protest and they protest and then they go home, and what changes? Nothing. And nothing will change until we stop acquiescing to the system. This period of protest, and in some cases looting and thuggery, to divert attention. How long into the winter before there's enough COVID-19 designated other causes?
By December, we would have 100 million vaccines, and by January of 2021, we'd have 200 million vaccines. And we were going to have the military roll this out to spread it. I talked to the president's advisor, and he says, well, did anything sound strange to you in that comment? And I said, well, yeah, the military part, because you'd use the National Guard or the reserves, but you couldn't use the active duty military. You can only activate the National Guard, and you can maybe activate the reserves, but you can't use active military. He's prior military himself, and he said, yeah, anything else? I said, no, I didn't notice anything else. He said, what were the dates when he's going to roll out these vaccines? I said, December and January. And he goes, and when are the elections? I said, November. And he started chuckling. This was a classified information by the Russian government that was actually initially published in 1977. It was only for governmental use, and it was marked that way. And the CIA declassified it in 2012. So it's actually been public information since 2012. But this is, we're looking at 43-year-old literature talking about the 5 millimeter 60 hertz frequency and the detrimental effects it has on the human system, actually not just the human system, on any living system, and it's been completely ignored. So looking at just some of the fundamental aspects of what this energetic system does, what this radio frequency electromagnetic fields do, and they have an impact on all living things, no matter whether it's 1G, 2G, 3G, I won't say beyond that. But regardless of what level it is, it's always had some type of an impact on physiology. But the most recent version of it creates some very noticeable metabolic changes. And these changes have an impact not only on the immune system, but also on the cell membrane integrity. Now, what happens when you start to create this type of disruption, that's just one aspect of it. But then you have other aspects that go into play. And so these aspects, as they come together, it's not 1 + 1 equaling 2, it's actually 1 + 1 + 1 equaling 33 type of thing. It's a synergistic to an order of magnitude greater destructive nature. So you've got other aspects from this technology that cause lymphocyte subpopulation suppression. You have the hypoxic type injury components that people have been able to observe, which is secondary to the apparent dissociation of iron from the hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. So when you pull the iron away from it, it actually causes the disruption. So the blood can't carry the same amount of oxygen. And the list just goes on and on. There's so many things that we don't even understand yet, how it affects the human system. Or whenever I say human system, it's actually affecting all living systems. It's definitely going to affect all life on the planet, because you're talking about a radio frequency electromagnetic field that's going to envelop the entire planet, and it's a global microwave technology. Essentially, it's throwing off the entire magnetic grid of the Earth's essence. The Schumann frequency that the Earth resonates with, you can think of it as the pulse of the planet. It's being disrupted.